CompTIA Cloud Certification Exam Deployment Practice. Question 1. Meridian Travel is designing its booking platform. A key requirement is to dedicate the cloud environment to one organization with greater control. Which cloud model provides the closest fit? Option A, private cloud. Option B, hybrid cloud. Option C, platform as a service. Option D, a community cloud. The correct answer is option A, private cloud. A single-minus organization environment supports customized governance and isolation while retaining cloud operating characteristics. For Meridian Travel's booking platform, that capability maps directly to the stated technical requirement. A different choice would be weaker because shared tenancy would conflict with the stated isolation requirement. Question 2. The current proposal for Meridian Travel's booking platform has a drawback: building permanent private capacity for rare peaks would be less flexible and more costly. The team still needs to send overflow demand from a private environment to public resources. Which architecture pattern should replace the proposal? Option A, cloud bursting. Option B, automatic scaling. Option C, high availability. Option D, horizontal scaling. The correct answer is option A, cloud bursting. Temporary external capacity handles peak usage while the normal workload remains in the controlled environment. Applied within Meridian Travel's environment, the approach resolves the central constraint without expanding the solution beyond its purpose. The alternatives solve adjacent design or operational problems instead of the specific issue identified here. Question 3. During release planning for Meridian Travel's booking platform, engineers are instructed to schedule, scale, and recover containerized services across nodes. Which compute architecture should be implemented? Option A, serverless computing. Option B, immutable infrastructure. Option C, container orchestration. Option D, stateless application tier. The correct answer is option C, container orchestration. An orchestration control plane manages desired state, placement, networking, and failed workload replacement. The requirement is satisfied by matching the cloud capability to the booking platform's stated operating condition. A different choice would be weaker because manually launching containers would not provide coordinated lifecycle management. Stressed about your CompTIA exam? We can take CompTIA exam for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee a pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done. Question 4. For Meridian Travel's booking platform, the team must scale flexible records or key-value access across distributed nodes. It also wants to avoid a design where forcing rapidly changing records into a fixed relational structure would reduce flexibility. Which data-service choice offers the most appropriate balance? Option A, file storage. Option B, NoSQL database. Option C, object storage. Option D, a read replica. The correct answer is option B, NoSQL database. Non-relational stores support varied data models and high-scale access patterns when joins and rigid schemas are unnecessary. The choice is appropriate for Meridian Travel because it acts on the requirement identified in the scenario, not merely on a related concern. The alternatives solve adjacent design or operational problems instead of the specific issue identified here. Question 5. The current proposal for Meridian Travel's booking platform has a drawback: sending internal traffic directly across the internet would expose it. The team still needs to encrypt traffic across an untrusted network between sites or users. Which network architecture should replace the proposal? Option A, a virtual private network. Option B, dedicated private connection. Option C, private subnet. Option D, a transit hub. The correct answer is option A, virtual private network. A protected tunnel provides confidentiality and integrity over public connectivity without requiring a dedicated circuit. The requirement is satisfied by matching the cloud capability to the booking platform's stated operating condition. The decision depends on the stated constraint rather than on selecting the most broadly familiar cloud technology. Question 6. Engineers reviewing Meridian Travel's booking platform describe the intended behavior as follows: active or immediately available capacity supports very low recovery time at a higher operating cost. Which recovery design does this description identify? Option A, multi-zone deployment. Option B, hot standby. Option C, recovery point objective. Option D, backup and restore. The correct answer is option B, hot standby. The described behavior supports the requirement to maintain a fully provisioned secondary environment ready for rapid failover. The choice is appropriate for Meridian Travel because it acts on the requirement identified in the scenario, not merely on a related concern. The main risk of choosing a different approach is that building resources only after an outage would exceed the allowed downtime. Question 7. Prior to expanding Meridian Travel's booking platform, administrators must define ownership, environment, cost, and lifecycle metadata. Which planning decision should they use? Option A. Resource tagging strategy. Option B. Service-level requirement. Option C. Business impact analysis. Option D. Capacity assessment. The correct answer is option A. Resource tagging strategy. Consistent metadata supports cost allocation, automation, inventory, and policy enforcement. The proposed use aligns with the workload constraint and supports a defensible vendor-neutral cloud decision. Conversely, unlabeled resources become difficult to govern and retire. Question 8. Architects supporting Meridian Travel's booking platform need the solution to produce the same final state when executed repeatedly. Which provisioning practice should they choose? Option A. State locking. Option B. Parameterization. Option C. Bootstrap script. Option D. Idempotent automation. The correct answer is option D. Idempotent automation. Safe repeat execution prevents duplicated resources and reduces recovery risk after partial failure. The choice is appropriate for Meridian Travel because it acts on the requirement identified in the scenario, not merely on a related concern. The main risk of choosing a different approach is that non-repeatable scripts may create additional objects or conflicting settings. Are you looking for CompTIA exam actual questions? Visit our website pokerexams.com to access CompTIA exam study guide with actual questions and answers. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description to get CompTIA exam answer key today. Question 9. The current proposal for Meridian Travel's booking platform has a drawback. Forcing an unsuitable workload into the cloud could increase cost or disruption. The team still needs to keep a workload in its current environment for now. Which migration approach should replace the proposal? Option A. Retain. Option B. A database replication cutover. Option C. Replatform. Option D. Retire. The correct answer is option A. Retain. A deliberate hold is appropriate when migration risk, licensing, latency, or dependency constraints outweigh current benefit. The proposed use aligns with the workload constraint and supports a defensible vendor-neutral cloud decision. Other options may be useful elsewhere, yet they do not provide the capability emphasized by this scenario. Question 10. Engineers reviewing Meridian Travel's booking platform describe the intended behavior as follows: a rehearsed reversal procedure limits downtime when release criteria fail. Which release practice does this description identify? Option A. Or rolling deployment. Option B. A blue-green deployment. Option C. Rollback plan. Option D. Smoke test. The correct answer is option C. Rollback plan. The described behavior supports the requirement to define a tested path to restore the prior stable state. The scenario calls for this capability because the booking platform depends on the specified behavior rather than a general cloud feature. The nearby alternatives are less suitable because improvising recovery during an incident would increase delay and error. Question 11. For Meridian Travel's booking platform, the team must allow a cloud workload to authenticate without stored long-lived credentials. It also wants to avoid a design where embedding static keys would create theft and rotation risks. Which configuration choice offers the most appropriate balance? Option A. Lifecycle policy. Option B. Managed identity. Option C. Resource quota request. Option D. Secrets manager. The correct answer is option B. Managed identity. Platform-issued workload identity reduces secret distribution and supports automatic credential rotation. This approach gives Meridian Travel the required behavior while keeping the implementation aligned with the workload's actual demand. Other options may be useful elsewhere, yet they do not provide the capability emphasized by this scenario. Question 12. For its booking platform, Meridian Travel wants to compare current behavior with an established normal range. Which observability method is most appropriate? Option A. Alert threshold tuning. Option B. Distributed tracing. Option C. Baseline analysis. Option D. Metrics dashboard. The correct answer is option C. Baseline analysis. Historical norms help distinguish meaningful anomalies from expected daily or seasonal variation. The scenario calls for this capability because the booking platform depends on the specified behavior rather than a general cloud feature. The nearby alternatives are less suitable because one isolated measurement lacks enough context for reliable interpretation. Question 13. Engineers reviewing Meridian Travel's booking platform describe the intended behavior as follows: utilization evidence supports selecting a more appropriate instance or service size without compromising required performance. Which optimization action does this description identify? Option A, right sizing. Option B, scheduled shutdown. Option C, chargeback. Option D, a spot capacity. The correct answer is option A, right sizing. The described behavior supports the requirement to match resource capacity to measured workload demand. This approach gives Meridian Travel the required behavior while keeping the implementation aligned with the workload's actual demand. Conversely, leaving chronically oversized resources unchanged wastes recurring spend. Question 14. Before the next production change to Meridian Travel's booking platform, the team must maintain recoverable data outside the primary geographic region. Which recovery operation should be prioritized? Option A, retention policy. Option B, failover exercise. Option C, restore testing. Option D, cross-region replication. The correct answer is option D, cross-region replication. Geographic copies protect against region-wide disruption and support regional disaster recovery. In this scenario, the capability addresses the immediate design objective and avoids solving a different problem. The nearby alternatives are less suitable because copies in the same region could share the outage. Question 15. For Meridian Travel's booking platform, the team must provide repeatable operational steps for routine events and incidents. It also wants to avoid a design where relying on individual memory creates variation and delays. Which operational practice offers the most appropriate balance? Option A, a certificate renewal automation. Option B, runbook. Option C, post-incident review. Option D, a configuration management database. The correct answer is option B, runbook. Documented procedures improve consistency, reduce decision time, and support less experienced responders. For the booking platform, the governing factor is the requested behavior, and this approach provides it directly. The distractors are legitimate cloud techniques, but they address different requirements from the one being tested. Question 16. The current proposal for Meridian Travel's booking platform has a drawback: static roles alone may not express the required contextual conditions. The team still needs to evaluate access using user, resource, environment, and action attributes. Which identity control should replace the proposal? Option A, multi-factor authentication. Option B, service account. Option C, just in time privilege. Option D, attribute based access control. The correct answer is option D, attribute based access control. Policy decisions can adapt dynamically to context such as department, classification, device, or time. In this scenario, the capability addresses the immediate design objective and avoids solving a different problem. A nearby concept would leave the central requirement unresolved even though it could improve another part of the environment. Question 17. Engineers reviewing Meridian Travel's booking platform describe the intended behavior as follows: controlled retrieval, audit, encryption, and rotation reduce exposure compared with embedding secrets in code. Which protection control does this description identify? Option A, tokenization. Option B, a certificate authority. Option C, secrets manager. Option D, encryption at rest. The correct answer is option C, secrets manager. The described behavior supports the requirement to centralize credentials, tokens, and sensitive configuration values. For the booking platform, the governing factor is the requested behavior, and this approach provides it directly. By contrast, source repositories are not appropriate long-term secret stores. Question 18. During release planning for Meridian Travel's booking platform, engineers are instructed to verify identity, device, and context for each protected request. Which network security control should be implemented? Option A, microsegmentation. Option B, private endpoint. Option C, web application firewall. Option D, a zero-trust access. The correct answer is option D, zero-trust access. Continuous explicit verification avoids assuming that network location alone establishes trust. For Meridian Travel's booking platform, that capability maps directly to the stated technical requirement. A different choice would be weaker because broad access based solely on being inside a network would be insufficient. Stressed about your CompTIA exam? We can take CompTIA exam for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee a pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done. Question 19. A proposed design for Meridian Travel's booking platform will be approved only if it can detect and restrict unauthorized movement of sensitive information. Which governance control satisfies that condition? Option A, a data loss prevention. Option B, a data masking. Option C, retention schedule. Option D, policy as code. The correct answer is option A, data loss prevention. Content-aware controls can identify protected data leaving approved channels or destinations. For the booking platform, the governing factor is the requested behavior, and this approach provides it directly. By contrast, general firewall rules may not understand the data being transferred. Question 20. The current proposal for Meridian Travel's booking platform has a drawback: restoring service without fixing the entry path would leave the risk. The team still needs to remove the underlying weakness after containing an incident. Which security response should replace the proposal? Option A, security posture management. Option B, root-cause remediation. Option C, a vulnerability scanning. Option D, security information and event management. The correct answer is option B, root-cause remediation. Correcting the exploited condition prevents simple recurrence rather than only cleaning visible symptoms. For Meridian Travel's booking platform, that capability maps directly to the stated technical requirement. The decision depends on the stated constraint rather than on selecting the most broadly familiar cloud technology. Question 21. Meridian Travel is preparing an update to its booking platform and needs to isolate work until it is reviewed and ready to merge. Which DevOps practice is the strongest choice? Option A, pull request review. Option B, feature branch. Option C, artifact repository. Option D, a continuous delivery. The correct answer is option B, feature branch. Separate branches support parallel development and controlled integration without destabilizing the mainline. The design decision fits the booking platform because it targets the exact availability, security, deployment, or operational need described. By contrast, editing the production branch directly would bypass review and increase collision risk. Question 22. For Meridian Travel's booking platform, the team must manage cloud resources through documented programmatic interfaces. It also wants to avoid a design where manual clicking would be slower and less repeatable. Which automation practice offers the most appropriate balance? Option A, declarative infrastructure as code. Option B, policy validation in pipeline. Option C, API-driven automation. Option D, event-driven workflow. The correct answer is option C, API-driven automation. Provider APIs enable consistent, scalable operations without depending on graphical interaction. The requirement is satisfied by matching the cloud capability to the booking platform's stated operating condition. The decision depends on the stated constraint rather than on selecting the most broadly familiar cloud technology. Question 23. An incident affecting Meridian Travel's booking platform requires engineers to determine whether the subnet has enough free addresses for new resources. Which troubleshooting action provides the most relevant next evidence? Option A, measure packet loss and latency. Option B, check domain-name resolution. Option C, inspect network access-control rules. Option D, check address exhaustion. The correct answer is option D, check address exhaustion. Dynamic services cannot attach interfaces when the subnet pool is depleted. Applied within Meridian Travel's environment, the approach resolves the central constraint without expanding the solution beyond its purpose. The main risk of choosing a different approach is that increasing CPU limits would not create network addresses. Question 24. The initial review of Meridian Travel's booking platform is complete, and the next objective is to identify swapping, out-of-memory termination, or cache eviction. Which diagnostic action is most appropriate? Option A, measure storage latency and IOPS. Option B, inspect database connection limits. Option C, check service quota. Option D, check memory pressure. The correct answer is option D, check memory pressure. Insufficient memory can cause severe latency or process failure even when processor use appears moderate. The requirement is satisfied by matching the cloud capability to the booking platform's stated operating condition. A different choice would be weaker because increasing network bandwidth would not correct memory exhaustion. Question 25. The initial review of Meridian Travel's booking platform is complete, and the next objective is to identify the exact stage, command, and error that stopped automation. Which corrective action is most appropriate? Option A, review monitoring coverage. Option B, check credential expiration. Option C, examine pipeline logs. Option D, compare declared and actual state. The correct answer is option C, examine pipeline logs. Stage minus level evidence narrows the failure before any production changes are attempted. The choice is appropriate for Meridian Travel because it acts on the requirement identified in the scenario, not merely on a related concern. The main risk of choosing a different approach is that manually deploying around the pipeline would hide the root cause.